All right, we will be starting a unit on ancient China. This is a unit where we'll be using stations. Everyone will do station A first. Okay, it's a virtual field trip to ancient China. So what you're going to do is click on the website available on Canvas. Okay, once you click on the website, you come to the British Museum of Ancient China. Anytime you need to get back to the main menu, you will click on Ancient China. The first activity that you will do in the virtual trip is you'll click on Crafts and Artisans. Then you'll click on the image. Then you'll read, excuse me, you'll read the instructions and then read the story. Okay, so this is the instructions on the first click. Down at the bottom, you can click on story and it will take you to the story. On the left side of the screen, you have another menu that you click on explore. That takes you to the workshop, and you can click on any one of the colored images on the workshop, and it will take you to each workshop to explain what the Chinese people did in the workshop. Then you're going to go to the challenge, click on it, read the instructions, and then play through the game. Okay. As you go through the website, you are going to be answering questions. What were the two most prized materials? What other artistic advancements did the ancient Chinese make? I need you to answer the questions using race, restate the question, answer the question, and then explain where you found your information and why you used that information. Okay, as you fill out this worksheet, you're going to go through all of the menus on the left side of the screen. You're going to go through Crafts and Artisans, Geography, Time, Tombs and Ancestors, and Writing. Okay, and there are questions for each one of those. If you need to, you can come back to this website and answer questions. You will need this information for all of the other stations. Once you're finished with the virtual trip through ancient China, you can choose Station B, C, or D. Station B, I will provide a t-shirt handout. You're going to begin by picking one of the Chinese dynasties that you studied about in the Chinese virtual tour. We must learn. Next, you will each create a t-shirt describing the achievements of that dynasty. On this side of the page, list the achievements of your dynasty. So you're going to name your dynasty and you're going to list their achievements. Then brainstorm slogans or designs to put on your t-shirt. Then create a nice version of your t-shirt on the template. Okay, so you're going to be taking notes. Place your name of your dynasty, their list of their achievements, and brainstorming ideas. Your job is to advertise your dynasty. The handout for your t-shirt will look like this, and you will each create your own t-shirt. Station 3, you're going to create your own Chinese name. Read the handout on how to choose a Chinese name. After you and your partner have read the handout, choose a clan name, one of the dynasties we just learned about. Then determine your rank, who is older and who's younger. Last, pick a Chinese word or words that may have a special meaning for you. You're going to list your Chinese name, translate my name, what does your name mean, and why you picked this name. Then you're going to practice writing 1 through 10 using the Chinese characters. On the left-hand side of the worksheet, you will notice that they have the Chinese number system. You have 1, which is yi, and it's a line. 2, is 2 lines. 3, san, and you have 3 lines. Now they get more complicated. Take your time and do your best work. How to choose a Chinese name? Some background. The Chinese were the first to pass the father's surname or last name to sons and daughters. Early surnames came from a family's town or city name and even the name of government offices held by their father. Ever had someone else in your class have the same name as you? Well, you have an idea of how confusing it can be to have the same name as someone else. The Chinese rarely had this problem. Each Chinese child was given a unique name so they could never be confused with another child. There were several common methods for naming children. 1. Each child would have the same first part of their name, like Li. The first son might be Li Ming and the next Li Fu, etc. Number 2, each child was given a name written with a slight variation like an additional line. 3. Chinese scholars like to name their children using words from classic texts. The first child's name would be 2 consecutive words from the text or a story. The next child would be named using the next 2 consecutive words in the sentence. Can you imagine what some of these names must have been? Number 4, commoners often name their children with the help of numbers. For example, the 4th child from the Hu family would be named Hu Sai. Chinese words. Okay, there's a list of Chinese words and the numbers at the bottom of this page. Use your information and come up with some really interesting names and tell me what they mean. All right, Station D might be the next station that you decide to do. This is the timeline. So you've already studied about the dynasties and the timeline of their, the time that they ruled. What you're going to do is take timeline cards and you're going to put them in chronological order without using your book or notes. Don't worry about specific dates, just the order in which the events occurred. Let me know when you think you have it correct. If you have errors, you will be allowed to use your notes or books to correct them. Once you have the events in correct order, copy them onto the timeline on this paper. Now, Miss Warner will be staying with you, so you will need to just raise your hand and let her know, and she will have the answer key. If you do not have your time cards in order, then you need to use your notes to go back and make sure that you can get them in the right order.